Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're focusing on Finnish educator Matleena and her blog, which chronicles over a decade of experiences with educational technology.
It's a treasure trove of insights.
It really is. Her posts, spanning from 2013 to the present, offer a really unique perspective on how technology's role in the classroom has evolved, especially with AI and social media really changing the game lately.
And what's remarkable is her hands-on approach. Laxo doesn't just observe these trends, she dives in, experiments with new tools, and then she shares both her successes and her challenges, which I think is incredibly valuable for anyone listening who's trying to navigate the world of educational technology.
Definitely. It's like having a trusted colleague who says, hey, I tried this and here's what happened. And speaking of trying new things, Laxo's insights from the 2024 BETI conference, that was just this past year, really highlight how AI is becoming a major force in education.
It seems like it's everywhere. Laxo mentioned that Microsoft's Copilot had a huge presence at BETI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the focus seemed to be on how Copilot can save schools time and money, which, is a big concern these days.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder if that focus on efficiency, while important, might overshadow how effective these tools actually are in a classroom setting.
That's the critical thinking Laxo encourages. She's clear that AI, while a potentially powerful tool, is not a magic solution.
Right, it's not a magic wand.
Exactly. She talks about Menta, an AI-powered platform that helps teachers design interactive learning materials. So, for example, you could plug your learning objectives into Menta, and it will generate a customized quiz with different question types tailored to your students' needs.
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. That sounds amazing, a real time saver for busy educators. And she also mentioned tools like Magic School and Diffit.
Yes. These offer AI-assisted lesson planning and even streamlined parent-teacher communication.
Wow.
With all of these options, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement. But Laxo's experience with H5P, which is a free open-source platform for creating interactive content, highlights the need for, a little caution.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
Well, H5P has a ton of potential, but Laxo found that without careful planning, it can be overwhelming to use.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of tool.
Not at all. It's a good reminder that technology should enhance, not dictate, our teaching goals, right?
Yes. It's about using the tools thoughtfully.
Exactly. And that leads us to a crucial point that Laxo emphasizes.
I see.
The need for critical thinking in the age of AI.
Because it's easy to think, oh, the AI created it, so it must be right.
Right, but we can't accept everything these tools generate at face value. We need to teach ourselves and our students how to evaluate information, question assumptions, consider multiple perspectives. It's about empowering ourselves to be discerning users of these powerful new tools.
It's that classic case of just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
We have all this incredible technology at our disposal, but are we using it thoughtfully?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it actually brings us to another really interesting point that Laxo's blog highlights. So while she's exploring how AI can transform teaching, she's also noticed a rapid shift in how educators are connecting and sharing information.
Yeah, and it's definitely something I've noticed too.
For example, remember when Twitter was the go-to platform for all the conference buzz?
Oh, totally. I used to live tweet during conference sessions trying to capture every single takeaway.
Exactly. But it seems like those days are fading fast.
It does feel that way.
Laxo noticed this at BDDT. She actually did an informal poll.
Interesting. And
Her results.
Yeah.
Educators are flocking to platforms like Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn to share their experiences and connect.
LinkedIn, really, for education technology.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. It just goes to show how quickly things change.
It's true. But what Laxo points out is that LinkedIn's rise in the education world actually reflects a broader trend. It's not about which platform is the coolest at any given moment.
It's about finding your people.
Yes. It's about where educators can connect most effectively, share resources, build community.
So it's less about chasing the latest trend and more about finding those online spaces where educators can genuinely connect and learn from one another, which, when you think about it, is what social media is supposed to be about.
Right. Exactly. And Laxo admits that she's constantly experimenting, trying new platforms, seeing what works best for her and her audience. She's even dipped her toes into Threads and Blue Sky, those new ones that are popping up.
I've been curious about those.
It just goes to show that you can't be afraid to try new things and see where the connections are.
It actually reminds me of something else Laxo wrote about, her experiences with students using Minecraft back in 2013. Even then, kids were so immersed in digital worlds, interacting with technology in ways that we were just starting to grasp.
It's fascinating to look back at it now.
It makes you realize this whole dance between education and technology, it's been evolving for a while.
Absolutely. And Laxo's blog gives us a really fascinating window into that evolution. Like, remember how she wrote about the financial burden of constantly updating textbooks?
Oh yes, every year a new edition. It was a nightmare for teachers, parents, everyone.
And now, look at us. We're grappling with far bigger questions about the ethical use of AI, data privacy, in education.
It's a whole different ballgame.
It really is.
Yeah.
What was once a concern about textbook costs has morphed into this much larger conversation about the responsible use of these really powerful technologies. And speaking of pushing boundaries, I found Laxo's experiment with asking AI chatbots personal questions super intriguing.
Oh yeah, that was fascinating, where she even tried prompting them with, "Tell me about Matleena Laxo."
Right, trying to see what these AI tools actually knew about her.
So what did they say? Spill the tea?
Well, it was pretty revealing. She found that Copilot, while always eager to please, often resorted to, like, hallucinating information.
Making things up?
Essentially, yeah. When it didn't have access to the data, it just kind of filled in the blanks.
Not exactly the most reliable biographer, then.
Not quite. ChatGPT, on the other hand, was much more cautious. It often emphasized privacy and actually suggested that Laxo answer those personal questions herself.
At least it was polite.
Right. But it brings up some interesting questions about what these AI tools have access to and what they're willing to reveal.
Okay, so what about Google? How did that go?
Interestingly enough, Google provided the most accurate information, although still pretty limited.
Is that right?
Yeah, it mainly drew from publicly available sources like her blog and her university bio.
So even AI has its limits.
It seems so, at least when it comes to digging up personal information.
Yeah.
But, it does make you think.
About.
All that data that's being collected and how AI systems might use it, especially when it comes to, our students.
That's a great point.
And that's exactly what Laxo highlights. This whole experiment, it just underscores how crucial data privacy is in this age of AI.
It's not just about what information is out there, but also how might it be used, especially in the context of education.
Exactly. And that's something I think that we need to be talking about a lot more.
It's a brave new world out there. We've got all this data and these AI systems analyzing it. It can feel a little overwhelming, to be honest.
It definitely can. But Laxo's approach isn't about being afraid. It's about empowering ourselves with knowledge, with digital literacy. We need to understand how these technologies work, how they influence the information we're seeing, and then, most importantly, how to evaluate that information.
And that evaluation piece, that critical thinking, that feels more important now than ever before. It's not just about knowing how to use the tools, but understanding their implications as well.
Exactly. And I think that's where Laxo's insights are so valuable. She models that balance, right? She embraces the potential of technology, but doesn't shy away from the ethical questions, the need for a critical lens.
It's like she's saying, yes, let's explore what's possible, but let's do it thoughtfully, carefully.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Laxo's blog, what would you say is the biggest takeaway for our listeners today? What's that one key idea you hope they walk away with?
For me, it all boils down to staying curious, informed, and adaptable. This world of educational technology, it's constantly evolving, and we need to evolve with it. We can't just learn one tool and expect that to be it. We have to be willing to learn, to adapt, to grow.
I love that. And, as much as things change, Laxo's journey reminds us that some things remain constant. The heart of education, fostering critical thinking, sparking curiosity, empowering learners. Those goals remain the same, even as the tools evolve.
It's about using those tools to achieve those timeless goals, right? And on that note, I think we should leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question, something inspired by Laxo's work. So here it is. As AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives, in and out of the classroom, what does it really mean to be well-informed? Is it simply about memorizing facts? Or is it about something more? Is it about critically evaluating the information we encounter, no matter where it comes from? We'll leave you with that question. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and as always, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.